I'm sure you're getting sick of me talking about typefaces. It's like an hour of it now. But I just want to talk about basically choosing your typefaces. I'll do this as quick as I can. There are two types of typefaces you're going to need. You're going to need your body typefaces, your paragraphs, and you're going to need your headings. Okay, those are the main two. Now you may have, just like when we were talking about color, right? You want 2 or 3 colors. It's the same thing with your typefaces. You're going to want 2 or 3 of them. So you're going to need a heading, a paragraph, and then perhaps you would have an accent one that's used for like quotes or something that you want to stand out. Okay. Now, when you choose your body typefaces, the main thing you're looking for is legibility and readability. You don't want anything fancy. Is really what it comes down to. You want all of your typefaces or all of the letters to have similar width so that there's less confusion. You don't want it overly thin or overly fat. You want to avoid tall or short lowercase. You don't want round letters, so what that means is like your O's should not be a perfect circle. They should actually be somewhat tall. Makes them easier to read. You want your B's and your D's and your P's and the Q's. They don't want them matching. Uneven stroke thickness. Don't use decorative fonts, obviously. And you want your spacing to be correct. You don't want it overly, like your tracking shouldn't be too large or too small, as well as your word spacing. Okay. Basically, like I said, you want those to be boring. For the most part. Really, what you want to do is sort of match the overall. There's a million body typefaces, and there's like little subtle differences, and you just want to make sure that you try to. It's a little bit easier because you can just choose from a whole like menu of them, and they should all work. But the idea is just keep it basic. Your heading typefaces are a little bit harder because you do have more options with that. You can do something a little bit more fancy. You have to take into account what the message is that you're trying to portray, right? So when you are picking it up, you got to think about who is it for, right? That you can make an argument that's what's the most important thing. So if it's for children, you don't want something kind of fun, right? But if it's for an older adult, you're probably going to want something that's more professional. And even if you take it to a real account, right? If you have somebody that's older, they might be more hard of seeing, so it's going to be even harder for you to do a fancier font because they'll have a harder time reading it. So that makes a big difference. Like I said before, the message, what are you trying to say? Depending on what the company and the brand is, can make a big difference as far as what the heading typeface should be. You can take hints from an image. So particularly like if they have a logo, right? You can look at the logo and then that will help inform, especially if the logo has like a typeface already in it, that can help inform what your font choice is, right? This is basically what you want to see. So you can see this one right here. It's fine to do for this blood-like font, right? It's fine to do for one word because you can read that. But if I wanted to do a body typeface, you would want to have something that's a little bit easier to read. I don't know if you get the reference. It's The Shining. So he says, "All work and no play make Cone a dull boy," and then this one says Red Rock. What's sad is I drew all these, and now that there's AI, they can probably just have these made. I would watch this. The reason why I wanted to show you this video, I usually show up my digital imaging class. So you've probably already seen it. You've seen it in there. But basically, they do. It's a bunch of like kind of animations just using text, but like moving them or obscuring them or rotating them, coloring them in different ways, and they sort of will emphasize an idea more. They're very fun. So just go ahead and watch that video. It's very clever, and it gives you, it's just to be creative.